everyone to Kiss Me Podcast 4K, The Second Coming. I am one of your hosts, Bob Kulick's appetite during an interview.
Oh, you caught me off guard. And I've been wondering, where did the term loose as a goose come from? Because that's weird.
Oh, you haven't met my wife, I see. And look, we are joined this week again by Savannah, but you can actually see her this time. She's not just the voice in the background. In case you didn't know, Savannah is Luke's mother.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, she's old
That's
enough.
good for my age.
Wow. So unfortunately this week we are back to a Michael Bolton album featuring Bruce Kulick. No drama here. This one is called Everybody's Crazy. So, but before we get into that, we put a little call out to you guys, you listeners and viewers, and we posted it on our Facebook pages. Got a couple comments back on that, but we figured we'd mention it on here because maybe some of you viewers don't check out the Facebook, vice versa. So basically, all it is we kind of noticed in the long run that since we started doing this Second Coming side of things, that it seems like we've lost some of the viewers, and as far as as much of the commenting and interaction as we were getting when we did the regular Kiss catalog. Understandable. We get it. Some of these albums and episodes aren't exactly the most exciting to talk about or sit and listen to or whatever. But so we were just kind of brainstorming the other day, and really we just want to get your guys' opinions. We were thinking a few options. Should we trim down the list a little bit to kind of more of what we think would be the more popular stuff, or I think we discussed even going back to the Kiss catalog, but doing it in kind of an entirely different way, not to repeat ourselves, which would be fun again. What else? Just some other options. We want to hear.
Absolutely, yeah. We'd love to get everybody's feedback on if we should do something different, and or if you like what we're doing just fine and you just haven't been as vocal about it. Either way, we're curious.
Yes.
And
By
that's
curious.
yes, that seemed to be the consensus on the Facebook post. The comments we got were, everything's awesome. Just keep doing what you're doing. We love the variety. We love that you don't only focus on one era of Kiss. We wouldn't have heard these albums if not for you guys reviewing them. So, yeah, very, very interested in everybody's opinions.
Yeah, and that was kind of the idea when we decided to do this part of it. Not only for us, kind of discovering things that we hadn't heard or knew about, but same thing for you guys. We were hoping that you guys would discover some things you might like or maybe dislike, but at least it's out there, and so that that's really all we're asking. We're not we're not sitting here like begging or belly aching, but we just we'd just like to hear some input from you guys, and a lot of you guys that was kind of commenting more often on the Kiss stuff. We noticed we haven't really heard from a lot of you guys lately, and so that's all. Just give us a little input. Hey, if you like what we're doing, fine, we'll keep on rolling. We'll just kind of see how much input we get from this, and kind of weigh it all together and see how it kind of turns out. But either way, we're gonna keep rolling one way or another.
Absolutely. And boy, we planned some cool stuff. If we can get it all together, got some interesting things maybe come the next expo that we want to do.
Yes. We want to make sure to actually, because we had discussed it in the past, and things happen. It gets so busy, and you get to talking to people. Things just happen at the expo, but we really want to try to start making that happen for sure. It'd be a great way to get a lot more input. We're not don't want to really go into it yet because obviously we're months away still from the expo. So of course, once that gets closer, we'll promote the hell out of it, of course, and bug you guys to death.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. So we did get one more vote on the Wendy Williams album via text message from Chuck McFarlane. He ended up ranking it a 7. So how did that affect the overall?
Indeed. Let me pop that in there real quick, and we will find out. We also got a vote from Robbie Stars on that one as well, a 6. So that will
Okay.
also affect it.
Cool.
Take a peek real quick. Oh, yeah. So that has actually brought it up to a 5.9 out of 10. It was previously at a 5.7.
Okay.
So up a couple more points there, tying it with the first Michael Bolton album, looks like, and still just under Black and Blue, which that's actually the result of, I think, Robbie Stars, again, voting on that album as well. So we'll get into that in a second here with the comments.
All right. So while you're waiting on that, since the last episode, we have learned that Nutter Center is the confirmed venue for the date and date next year. Tickets actually go on sale a week from today, which is kind of surprising that they're going on sale that early. Also, unfortunately, they had to cancel the entire Australian leg of this tour due to Paul being sick. Basically, he just has the flu, from what it sounds like. So that sucks to hear for all you Australian guys. I know some of you are in Australia that watch the show. We hate to hear that. It sucks. I think that was kind of the only other things going on other than all the drama and crap that's popped up. But uh, so yeah, let's just jump on into some comments and our usual stuff here.
Absolutely. So our Facebook first, we did get a couple of comments on the post of the Wendy O. Williams episode. We've got Robbie Stars here, who has said the drummer, TC Tolliver, I believe, is great friends with my lead vocalist going back a long time ago.
Oh,
So that's awesome. He tag Ralph Thompson, who I assume is the lead vocalist he's referring to. And yeah, man, we'd love to hear some stories about that.
yeah. Please get us in contact if you could. We'd love to have him on the show.
Absolutely. We've also got Steve and Rochelle McGowan's picks for this Michael Bolton album we're doing today. I'll go ahead and just jump into that since I'm right here. Steve gave this album a 5 out of 10. His top 3 were Every Time, Everybody's Crazy, and Save Our Love. Rochelle ranked this a 7 out of 10, and her top 3 were Desperate Heart, Call My Name, and Don't Tell Me It's Over.
Wow, 7.
Yeah. Jumping over to the YouTube episodes, we've got a new comment from Robbie Stars on Born to Laugh at Tornadoes, which, if any of you did not listen to that album, well, it's up to you. I was going to say you should definitely go listen to it, but that's a bit of a strong endorsement. It's hilarious. Backing that up, Robbie Stars has commented, strange stuff. Now I see why I never heard of some of these unknown albums. They just aren't good. Yeah, there's interesting stuff is exactly right. Also jumping up to the Black and Blue episode, Robbie Stars has commented, Hold On to 18 and Only the Strong Will Rock are great songs and the rest are glammy sounding as expected. James is a decent vocalist, and I definitely love his harmonies on God Gave Rock and Roll to You off Revenge. I'll give this album a 7. Thayer rocks on this debut album.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I knew that the vocalist sang. Actually, you know what? That is kind of starting to ring a bell. I might have seen that on the Wikipedia page when we did Revenge.
Yeah, it seems like I recall something like that popping up. Before I forget, we did get another kind of bit of a comment about the Black and Blue. Came in through text message through our friend Corey. He just mentioned he really enjoyed the Black and Blue episode, and that he's seen the album from time to time, but he definitely wants to get it in his collection now after watching that. And also the fact that like I think we mentioned on the episode, he finds it hard to believe that they're considered hair metal. Um, and apparently they are on the reissue of the Metal Massacre 1 compilation, and they actually opened that up. So there you go. And then they're considered hair metal in some aspects.
Yeah, that is weird.
So thanks to Corey for that. Is there any other comments?
Yep, we've also got a couple from Robbie on last week's episode, the Wendy O. Williams. So again, here he's mentioned his vocalist was in a band with the drummer TC. Okay, I'm not sure that's what he said on Facebook. That's cool. And that would have been before he played with Wendy O. Williams. Robbie mentions cool album, but I hate her voice. LOL. He also commented, love the band, not a fan of her voice one bit. It's My Life and Thief in the Night are the only songs I can handle listening to. Cool that Kiss members appear on songs, but her voice is horrible. LOL. Just an opinion. I give it a 6, 4 for the good band, 2 for Kiss members rocking on it, and a big fat 0 for her singing. Please get some albums. Totally agree, man. Totally agree.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, as far as our friend Corey and his wife Audrey, congratulations on just becoming grandparents. Big thing there. So I will be buying him some prune juice and crossword books. And
yes. Yep. No more going out past like 7 p.m. That's over now.
So I want to do something real quick, since it's been a long time since we've been able to do this. But Savannah, since this is your technically first time on here, I want to get your Kiss story, like we like to do with people that come on. I just kind of let us know, like, hey, how'd you first discover Kiss? You know, what some of your favorite songs, albums, all that stuff.
Well, I grew up listening off and on to different things. My mom and my dad both are into the hair metal, the glam metal, all that. So they weren't one that it was like a main for me. Like when I was growing up, it was more like Dokken and Rat and stuff like that. But Kiss was always in there with everything else.
Yeah.
I didn't really become a really big fan of Kiss until me and Luke got together. And then after me and Luke got together, I was introduced to like this whole new world that I didn't even realize I had been missing out on. It's just, I was blown away by it. I was in love with it, like almost immediately. And Luke was telling me about an episode that you guys had done with when you made like your dream albums. So I did that too, because I was like, if I had an album that, like, you know, if I had to choose like my favorite songs, like I made an album. Some of my favorite, I got it here.
Oh, good. I was gonna say, I'd like to hear what it is.
So I actually made like, it was a compilation for me. I did a disc 1, I did a disc 2.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just thought it would be really cool. And I actually, for the very first time, a couple of weeks ago, heard Time Traveler for the very first time. And I was in love with it. I cannot believe that song never made it onto an album. I'm like floored by that. I can't wrap my head around how that didn't make it onto an album. I can't.
Yeah.
So,
that and Sword and Stone.
Yes.
Yes, that too. So that was my first song on the album. Like that would be the opener for me, because I always like albums that they start really strong and they end really strong. Because then when they start really strong, it makes you want to listen to it, and then when it ends, it makes you want to re-listen to it. So Time Traveler, I think, would be a great opener for an album. Like it's just so powerful and it's so just in your face, and I love that.
Yeah, there sure ain't any Kiss compilations that have that on there, especially as a starter. So that'd be a nice breath of fresh air.
Right. So then I put I'll Fight Hell to Hold You. Like, I love that song. A Million to One, which honestly, I think I've told Luke this before, that if somebody asked me to pick my all-time favorite Kiss song, it would be that one.
Really?
A Million to One is my favorite Kiss song of all time.
Cool.
And then it would be A World Without Heroes. I love Gene's voice in that. I've not always been a fan of his voice. Sometimes it goes back and forth with me on him, but that, I mean, just I just love that. And then it's Creatures of the Night. All Hell's Breaking Loose. I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, Thrills in the Night, and then Every Time I Look at You. Hide Your Heart, Heart of Chrome, Who Wants to Be Lonely, and then I would end it with Dreamin'.
Nice.
So I think that would be a strong ending for it.
So you definitely lean more towards the 80s Kiss.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
more of
Nice.
where my favorites lie. And
You
then on the second
don't
disc,
hear that a lot.
right, it would open with God of Thunder. And then King of the Mountain, Not for the Innocent, I Still Love You, Tears Are Falling, Thief in the Night, Rise to It, Thou Shalt Not, Say Yeah, Heaven's on Fire, and the War Machine.
Awesome. That's a hell of a compilation.
Right.
That makes me want to listen to it.
Right. I asked Luke, I was like, can you just make these for me? Like, we have all these songs. Can you just make these versions for me?
Yeah.
I have these.
Yeah, you might have to send that list over. So I might have to sit and listen to it.
Absolutely.
So if I had, my dream compilation, that's what it would be. It would have those specifics on it because those are like my favorites.
That's awesome. So what's real quick, say your favorite album?
My favorite album would probably be either Lick It Up or Revenge. Probably Revenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So I guess we'll jump on into the info and get going.
Indeed. Dang, all the talk about Kiss songs and albums now. I don't care about Michael Bolton anymore.
I know, right? Let's just rank her a compilation.
Yes. Okie dokie. So this is Michael Bolton's "Everybody's Crazy," which is his fourth studio album, but actually technically his second under the name Michael Bolton. This album was released in March of 1985 and was produced by Neil Kernon, except for track 6, which is Desperate Heart, and for some reason that one was produced by Randy Goodrum. Of course, as we know, the lead guitar on this album is Bruce Kulick. Awesome. Nice to see his name and not Bob's in light of the drama here. And also, interestingly, he would have already been a member of Kiss by this point. In fact, this would have been fairly soon to Asylum's release date.
Well, he was busy making Grammy hits at this time, so
Exactly. Yeah.
he couldn't be on. He couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. Stupid little Michael Bolton. But apparently, interestingly, according to the Wikipedia page here, the reception has always been extremely mixed to this one. Of course, people have always praised Michael Bolton's voice and everything, but one of the biggest complaints, I guess, is that his voice is too low in the mix, which I have to personally disagree with.
Yeah.
That was a little weird to see that at all. The personnel is a huge list again here. So we've got Michael Bolton, who of course did lead vocals and backing vocals, played some guitar. Bruce Kulick did all the lead guitar except for Desperate Heart. We've got Kevin Dukes, who did guitar on Desperate Heart. Paul Pesco, additional guitar on Desperate Heart. We've got Mark Mangold, keyboards and arrangements. Lloyd Landisman on keyboards. Jan Mullany on keyboards. Mark Radis on keyboards. Alan St. John on keyboards. Larry Fast, synthesizer and programming. Randy Goodrum, keyboard, synthesizer, programming, and backing vocals on Desperate Heart. Doug Katsaros, additional keyboards. Neil Kernon, additional keyboards.
Jeez.
Let's see how many keyboards there are on this album. Dennis Feldman, bass guitar and backing vocals. Holy crap. Schuyler Deal, I think, additional bass guitar. Chuck Berge on the drums. He was apparently uncredited on the original release, but has been credited since. It's the same guy that played drums on the first Michael Bolton album. Mark Rivera, saxophone. Yeah, I said it like that. I didn't mean to, but I did. So We got Terry Brock on the backing vocals, Pepe Castro on backing vocals, and Joe Sarasano on backing vocals.
Well, I was gonna say there's definitely a lot of keyboard and synthesizer on this album, so it sounds like they were all just doing a big duet or something.
Right.
Well, good lord.
Yes. So no singles that I'm seeing, which is interesting, unless they're just not listed on Wikipedia. There was a music video for the title track, but that seems to be it.
Wow. Yeah, I wanna thank YouTube for blocking the last video because of the clip of Legends Never Die I put in there. So I had to trim that out.
Ridiculous. By the way, we did find the Kiss demo for that, and geez, it is so much better.
Yeah.
It's not the one on the vault.
No, it is on the vault, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Gene singing that. Yeah.
So much. It
So
sounds
much
like the
better.
same track. It's just Gene singing instead of her.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. All right, so starting off the album here, we have "Save Our Love." This is my number 2. Um, pretty good opener. Obviously, very synthesizer heavy, as we just found out. The background vocals reminded me kind of similar to the Blackjack stuff. Maybe this stuff was left over from the Blackjack sessions or demos. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's about all I have on that one.
Yeah. You want to go next?
It doesn't matter.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This was my number 5, and it was. I feel like it was okay that it was kind of in the middle, because I don't feel like it was great, but I don't feel like it was horrible either. So
Right.
it was a good middle for me personally.
Yeah, I should precurse anything either of us say by saying that we accidentally listened to this album very out of order without having realized it. So this song, when we heard it, was near the end of the album. Actually, this song came after "Call My Name" in the order we listened to it. So my initial praise was, "Yeah, this is what I was hoping for. Screw the slow stuff." I'm glad they brought it back up. Yeah, I noted this is unapologetically 80s. And also knowing that this came out around the same time as Asylum makes the guitar solo in this make a lot of sense. Definitely a very similar Bruce guitar tone and play style. In fact, this might have been one of my favorite solos on the album.
I wonder if he did this like right before he technically joined the band or something.
Maybe.
Yep. Okay. Totally forgot what I was going to say, but so anyway. Oh, I was going to say, good thing this isn't a concept album.
Yeah,
That story would not have made sense at all.
Yeah.
It would have been like, that was stupid because none of it made sense.
So moving into track 2, which maybe should have been track 1, is "Everybody's Crazy," the title track. This is my number 1. Felt like a different vocal approach here. Wait, let me say that again without sounding like I had a stroke. Bit of a different vocal approach here from Michael Bolton, almost like a Robert Plant style vocal with the high register and higher than normal. Honestly, if I had just heard this song, anywhere else, not knowing that it was this album, I probably wouldn't know that this is Michael Bolton, because it just kind of, I mean, when you hear the voice, you can almost say, "Oh, he sounds like Michael Bolton," but at the same time, you're like, "Is it though?" Because that higher, and then the whole song just kind of has that heavier vibe to it, and almost like that again, like that typical Zadie kind of metal rocker type of vibe to it, and a great solo here from Bruce too. On top of that, um, honestly, this is probably like the most praise I have for this album is this one song. I mean, it just unfortunately starts going downhill after a while. So, my number 1.
Yeah, for me, this was my number 2. And because we listened to it out of order, like Luke said, we actually heard this one first. So in my head, I was thinking, well, that was a good opener. It opened
It should have been.
well, and it did. It was strong. It was. I never would have guessed that that was Michael Bolton if I had just heard that. If Luke would have been like, "Hey, listen to this song and tell me who you think it is," I would never have said Michael Bolton.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
that's not something that I would have ever expected to hear from Michael Bolton ever.
Right.
Impressed. I was impressed. I told Luke when it finished, I thought if the rest of the album sounds like this, I will be impressed. Like honestly, I will honestly like this a lot more than I ever thought I could like a Michael Bolton album. And then it kind of falls here and there, but this one was definitely a strong one for me.
Yeah,
well.
I mean, like with the first 2 songs, I'm thinking, oh, good, this is going to be kind of a nice, surprise like the first one was, and
Yeah.
here we go, and
yeah,
let's hope it holds on.
right.
Yes. Yeah, this was also my number 1. Liked the vocal harmonies. Chorus was catchy. I noted pretty cool start to the album. Yes, if we could start a petition, this one should open the album. I'm a little mad that it didn't actually, but I also noted I think I like this song better than any of the other Michael Bolton songs on all the other albums we've done so far.
Yeah, honestly, this is a song that I could potentially go back to on occasion, like, if I just want to sit and listen to like songs that Kiss members played on or something, you know what I mean? Like just one of them weird moods, but that's saying a lot for me for a Michael Bolton song.
Right.
All right, number 3, Can't Turn It Off. This is my number 4. Didn't want to turn it off just yet, but kind of felt like I was listening to Journey on this song with all the synthesizer. Kept reminding me of Separate Ways, and again, just pretty much, as the album is in general, and you had already said it, very 80s on this one, so that's all I got for that.
This one was my number 6, and I feel like this was the start of the songs for me. Like this was one that I kind of it wasn't the worst, but again, it wasn't the best either. It just kind of was. I think it was all the synthesizers and stuff that kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, I don't know. This is kind of a little on the corny side. It sounds corny, so but it wasn't the worst on the album, I don't think, but it wasn't in my top 4 for sure.
This one was number 3 for me. I liked the difference dynamically between the verses and the chorus. The choruses in this one, especially the first chorus ends and they go back to the verse and everything just kind of comes down, it hunkers down, and then they do a good job of building it back up, and then hitting it big with those chorus harmonies. And then this is another classic Bruce solo on this one. It was when we listened to this one was like the 5th song or something. So we're halfway through the album at this point, and I was thinking like, yeah, it's good that they brought it back up.
Yeah, I agree. With like what Savannah was saying, it was like this one was starting, like I could feel it starting to trail off, but it was still just enough to kind of keep the hope going. And then we get into the next track where I just like completely, I don't know, I just apparently had like an emotional breakdown and just stop caring as much. We have Call My Name. This is my number 6. So I put at the time sappy love song time, and my right hand kept flirting with me during this one, and I think it wanted some one-on-one time, but no means no.
Hey, you got to remember what Sean Connery's James Bond said. 50
What's that?
no's and 1 yes still means.
That's what I was gonna say. I almost said that. You beat me to the punch.
Yeah, Thankfully, the song was over before the candles got lit, or I don't know if there would have been any turning back.
Would have been all over at that point. Yeah, this one was my number 9 because this was what I was expecting to hear through the whole album. Like honestly, I was dreading it because I thought the whole album's gonna sound like this. And then when we got to this song, I was like, I can't with this. Like it was like, this is a typical Michael Bolton. This is what I honestly expected the whole thing to sound like. So it was definitely in the very bottom for me. Like I was like over it. When it was over, I was over it.
I think that's why I got so mad, because there's first 3 and then this comes on and I'm like, there it is. This is what I was afraid of.
There it is.
Yeah.
Damn you, Michael Bolton.
Yeah, that would throw it completely off. When we heard this one, it did follow "Can't Turn It Off" still, but it was almost at the end. A little bit more appropriate a spot for a slower song, I guess. But yeah, it killed the mood.
Yeah.
"Can't Turn It Off" was kind of upbeat, had some energy, and yeah, I noted this is also my number 9, I should say. I noted that I liked this one a little bit, but I was still kind of hoping for something upbeat. I was a bit up energy after the last one and was not ready for it to go away. And then not only did this one feel like it went on way too long, but the drum production kind of bothered me on this one, and it didn't on any other tracks. It just, this song specifically, the snare just felt flat and lifeless, and the drums just generally felt thin and like they weren't taking up as much space as they should have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially coming off of an album like last week's, where it's close to Creatures of the Night, and then you hear this, and it's like, where's the life?
Yes.
Next up is Every Time. This is my number 3. What the hell was that weird keyboard part in the middle? It sounded like someone just sat on the keys and they decided it sounded good enough to be the solo. And the lyric, "Every time I taste your love, it's a miracle," kind of makes it sound like he didn't get laid very much.
Yeah, he's clawing. Yeah, this one was my number 8 because again, it was right out there with "Call My Name." "Call My Name" was just slightly worse to me. Like I can't with this. This is like,
Yeah, it's not by much, that's for sure.
yeah, it beat out "Call My Name," but just barely. Yeah, I was over it by the time it was over. I was like, I'm done with this song now.
Yep, this one's my number 5. I did really like the effect on the snare drum in this one. The stupid way we listened to this had it coming out of Desperate Heart. So it was really nice to, when the drums came in, it was like a punch in the face. The snare was powerful and punchy. I found myself wishing desperately for that sound on "Call My Name," and it was not there. But yeah, the breakdown in the middle, I noted as well. That I think you said that at the time we were listening to it too, that you were like, "What is going on with that organ?"
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, what is going on right now? Like,
Yeah.
is old tone deaf lady at church who can't play the organ trying to play?
Yes, it was interesting to listen to, but not good.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what I mean. Like, coming off of "Call My Name," I was almost like, okay, it's kind of got promise again. It's kind of back. And then I heard that and it just killed it. I'm like,
What?
no. Oh, so next up is Desperate Heart, my number 7. And backing up the suspicion on the last song is the title of this track. And this one, as soon as this song started, I felt the urge to get up and do some 80s aerobics and bake cookies.
at the same time. Yeah, this was also my number 7 because, like I said, it, like with "Can't Turn It Off," where that was the start of the bad songs. This one was right behind it as the second of the bad songs. Like, I feel like like the last four was Can't Turn It Off and Desperate Heart and Every Time I Call My Name, and that's kind of where it fell flat for me, was those songs. I was not impressed by those.
I literally just had to slap numbers.
But yeah, at the same time, I was like, if I have to put it somewhere, I mean, it's not the worst one, but it's close. Yeah.
Yep, I'm pretty much right there. This was my number 6. This one for me was where I was like, there's the sound I expected for the whole album. Of course, this was the third song on the way we listened to it. So this was long before Call My Name. But yeah, it's like the soft pop rock has come in. It's at least good for being that. The one really positive thing that I liked about this song that I then noticed throughout a lot of the rest of this album is I want to give a lot of props to whoever mixed this, because I think the mix between the keyboards and the guitars is just about perfect for this genre, especially in that song. They found a good way of whichever one needed to be stronger in each song, they did that, and then the other one was there, and you could tell it was there, but it wasn't overpowering.
Yeah, this was actually the one, like, it was third on our list when we listened to it. And as soon as it started, I said, well, there it is. That's what I expected. Now, there it is. Like, that's
There it is.
the whole thing to sound like.
Next up is Start Breaking My Heart. I did this a long time ago. This is my number 5. This one, kind of like what you were saying, Luke, earlier with one of the other songs, I felt like this one dragged on too long as well. Again, I was kind of reminded of the Blackjack stuff with the background vocals. That was about all I could say about that one.
This one was my number 3. And it was just, it did drag on a little bit longer than I would have preferred, but the background vocals were really nice, and it was all around a strong song, one of the stronger ones, I think. I mean, I found myself thinking if I had to listen to these songs over again, this would be one of them that I would re-listen to. So, yeah.
Yeah, this was the second song on the album that played for us. So we were coming out of Everybody's Crazy, and it's still, kind of upbeat and exciting.
Right.
So my notes were, I really hope the album continues like this. I like this stuff way more than I figured I would. And then what really put this is actually my number 2, and that is just 100% because sax solo. Yeah!
Sex solo, yes.
Sax solo. That would have been weird.
Like Rocket Queen all over again. Next up is You Don't Want Me Bad Enough. This is number 8 for me. And that's it. I literally have nothing to say about this one. I totally didn't pay attention to this song.
You didn't want notes bad enough.
Yes.
Yeah, this one was my number 4. It was just all around, like, I didn't mind it, honestly. Like, it didn't, compared to some of the others, like, it was, again, one that if I heard it, I could listen to it again. And it not bother me too bad. Like, if somebody was like, you have to pick a Michael Bolton song to listen to, that might be one that I suggest.
This one was number 7 for me. I noticed the guitar tone changed in this one from the whole rest of the album, and I didn't care for that. I would have preferred the tone from the previous songs. I did like the acoustic and clean tone just occasionally would pop in, was really neat. It was a neat touch and a good sound. I liked the vocals in the chorus, and this is a little better, I guess. When we listened to this was the closer, so I noted, still, maybe this is an okay closer compared to some of the nasty ones we've had, but still not great. Actually, I think I like it better knowing now that this wasn't the closer and that the one that did close didn't frickin' fade out.
So speaking of the closer, we come to that. It's "Don't Tell Me It's Over." How clever! Um, Last song on the album and my least favorite, my number 9, said, "Oh yes, it is over. Thank God." That's it.
Yeah.
This one was my number 1.
Wow.
So we are completely opposite on that.
And Rochelle's.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this one, I loved it. Like I liked it so much. Like when we heard it, it was almost at the end. It was number 8 when we listened to it originally. And I told Luke, I said, I think this might be my favorite one so far. Like, yeah, I love the whole thing. Like from start to finish, it was one of my favorites.
Yeah, this was my number 8. I did like the ascending guitar part in the pre-chorus. I did like the verses. I wish the song in general had been more like the verses, but it was the chorus that killed it for me personally. I didn't care for the disco-y drum beat. It felt kind of out of place, and like it was trying to give me or give the song like an extra pump that it really didn't need. You know? And no sex solo, so bad mark.
Darn.
Or
Darn
did
it.
one of these had another sex solo, so I don't know.
I don't remember. Well, as far as overall, I give this one a 1.
Wow!
Oh.
Ouch!
It started off fairly promising, but after the third song, I was done, and it turned into what I was afraid it would be. Of course, any compliments of this album would mainly be from Bruce's playing and some of Bolton's vocals on a few of the songs. I am absolutely nauseated that we still have yet one more of his albums to cover, and I fear the worst.
Yeah. Overall, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Because I could listen to it again. I would skip the songs that I didn't like, but the few that I did like, I could listen to again. But like, don't tell me it's over and everybody's crazy and stuff. Like I said, I grew up listening to the hair metal and stuff, and it just kind of reminded me of that. Like it was kind of, I found myself, bopping along to it and thinking I could hear this again. It'd be pretty cool. Like, but so yeah, overall, I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, everybody's crazy. Yeah, that song, hey, props, but the
Yeah.
fact that it's mixed in with all the other stuff just doesn't help.
What did you say? What you ranked that one?
Yeah, 6.
Oh, see. Now I feel bad a little bit. I actually gave this 7.
Okay.
um, I was completely blown away, honestly, and not that this is the most amazing album that I've ever heard. It certainly is not, but just because I was expecting that the first Michael Bolton album would probably be the only decent one, and then we were going to jump right into his contemporary soft pop rock. So to hear this still kind of an '80s rocker was just completely out there for me. So just as much as the last Michael Bolton album surprised me, this one surprised me even more that it wasn't awful. You know, um, it was definitely clear what era this album came from, both the use of synthesizers and just the general production. One of the things that we've complained about often was that you can't hear when a Kiss member is on it. Bruce was clearly evident throughout this album, which was very nice. It was even fairly obvious to me that this was Asylum era Bruce. Some of the solos and riffs and things that he were playing was like, man, that jumped right off the Animalize LP. That little solo trick he did, and they were all killer. Of course, just like you said, that was probably the best part of the whole album was Bruce's solos. The production was for the most part pretty good. As I mentioned earlier, I think the mix of the keyboard and the guitar throughout the album was done very, very well, perfectly balancing them without stepping on another. However, there were definitely places I felt like the drums lacked a little bit. Yeah, a few parts where what Chuck Berge played just didn't quite hit me right. But more so, it was the production. I think it worked throughout most of the album, even specifically "Shining," like in Every Time, that snare effect was really cool. But other spots like "Call My Name" felt completely flat, lifeless. It would have benefited from that more stereotypical 80s ballad, like big cannon snare reverb.
Hmm.
That would have made it feel a lot better, I think. And as per usual, Michael Bolton's voice gets on my nerves a little bit. But just like with the last one we reviewed, I was way less bothered by it than I just about didn't make it through the first Blackjack album because it was annoying me so bad.
Wow. Yeah. See, it was. I enjoyed that one way more, but that's the difference.
Right. So interesting there. Just I think I ranked this one so high just because I enjoyed it so much more than I thought I was going to. And I mean, honestly, if this album played again, I don't think I would turn it off.
Hmm. Looking ahead as you're getting things tallied, looking at the last Bolton album that we'll cover, The Hunger, which thankfully we do have a nice break before we get to that one.
Yes.
But I will say, looking at the album right now, I am interested to hear he does a cover of Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, which is one of my favorite songs ever. So I'm really kind of excited to hear his version. And other than that, who knows? I may end up liking that album better than this one just simply for that song. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
You should try to listen to it out of order like we did.
Yeah, this according to Wikipedia, this is his breakthrough album.
Oh, geez.
So that will be
So we have some really really good ones coming up here over the next few weeks. So next week we're back to Black and Blue with their album Without Love. Then we jump over to Black Sabbath with, again, is Eric Singer, their album Seventh Star. Then we're right back to Black and Blue, and it's the Nasty Nasty album. And then we get into Vinnie Vincent Invasion, the first album. And then after that is White Tiger, of course, Mark St. John's band. Um, and then finally after that, we get into Fraley's Comet, Ace Frehley, which of course features Bob Kulick. No.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that.
And so after the Fraley's Comet is when we do get back to that final Michael Bolton album. But I mean, you got some really strong things coming up here over these next. It's all going to be some heavier stuff, that's for sure.
I gotta
Yeah.
say, it kind of looks like. I mean, of course, we'll find out when we get to that Michael Bolton album, but that might be the last one in the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of scanning. I mean, there's another Sabbath album after that. Of course, there's another Vinny and Fraley, and then we even have a Kiss. The Chikara albums coming in there. Doro Pesh, Peter, some more Peter stuff, getting back into that, and then not too far after that, we start getting into like the Union and ESP stuff, and so yeah, I mean, I agree. Just kind of glancing at the list, I think that Michael Bolton's the last one that's. I will say I'm a little apprehensive about the Doro Pesh. I'm kind of afraid it's going to be similar to the Wendy O. Williams as far as how we like it, and I'm not real familiar with her style, so
Right.
kind of interested in that one when we get all the way down there. But yeah, so just again, a heads up for you guys. Some really really strong ones coming up here over the next like 6 weeks. So definitely can't wait to get into all of these. So all right, let's knock out the final tallies here.
Absolutely. One tie, not an important one. Fourth place, so not a big deal there, but it could become one if we get some more breakers in here. They could pretty easily overtake our top three. So we ended up with a 5.2 out of 10 average rating, which is not too bad.
Yeah, I think that helps with your guys' higher rankings.
Right, absolutely. It did. I'm not seeing anything else quite in that range, so it's below Blackjack, it's below the Wendy O. Williams album and everything. The first Michael Bolton album is still a little below that, but it is above both Peter Criss albums. Of course, the Laura Nero album, which, if anything, beats that one's score negatively, then I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Still sitting at a 1.3 out of 10.
I don't know if I agree with it being above Let Me Rock You, but I could see the other one.
Yeah. So coming in last place, which for this album is 8th, You Don't Want Me Bad Enough. 7th place, Call My Name. In 6th place, Desperate Heart. 5th place, Can't Turn It Off. Tied for 4th place, Every Time and Don't Tell Me It's Over. And our top 3 for this album, in 3rd place, Start Breaking My Heart. In 2nd place, Save Our Love. And in 1st place, the title track, Everybody's Crazy.
Makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
everybody was pretty much in agreement about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so everybody's crazy according to Michael Bolton. That wraps that one up. And so, again, jump ahead, get some votes in for these upcoming albums. As always, the list is on the page, so you guys can look ahead. And don't forget, what we mentioned at the beginning of the show. Please give us a little input. What do you guys think? Should we change some things up a little bit, or keep on going the way we're doing it? We're definitely curious to hear. Just if it's time to revamp a little, we're gonna do it. So we appreciate it all. And thanks, Savannah, for being here. Maybe this become a permanent thing.
Probably will. Most of the time on Friday nights, I sit at home while Luke does this, so
Yeah.
I'll start joining it.
We just won't be able to cyber anymore, but
Yeah, that
Now
kind
you
of
can.
sucks. I mean,
I'm joining that too.
oh, gee.
Oh shit! I didn't end the episode yet.
Oh.
Whoops.
Well, I'll just put it away then.
Well, all right, everybody. We'll see you later. All right, everyone. Thanks for participating. Get those votes in, and we want your feedback. Until next week, for another Black and Blue record. We will see you then.